What do we have today? 24 degrees. Just comfortable in here now. Looks like the tomatoes need a little bit of maintenance there. I see lots of suckers starting to come off. Our peppers are looking good. I don't see any more eaten leaves. I did get a big June bug in here this morning and got rid of him. He may have been the culprit. We're not sure. Now, before we get too far along, I want to get out in the garden because I want to uncover those carrots today. Let's see how they're doing. Oh, we had company again. Look at this, look. Our peas, just as they're growing, as they're sprouting, look, they're getting dug up. Quite a few of them, actually. That looks more like birds, crows probably. All right, looks like we're going to have to get some netting over this as well. That'll be another job today. Let's get these guys tucked back down in the ground here first thing. We'll just tuck them down there. There goes my perfect spacing. All right, get those in there. But we see that they are growing okay. And one more here. Potatoes look good. Really growing nicely. I'm on two minds about putting a watering hose down here next to them. I'm a little bit concerned that the hose will be buried with the plants when I hill them, and that the roots from the plants will start to go into the porousness of the hose. But they're certainly all doing really well. Maybe I'll wait a while and see about putting the watering hose more on top of the ground after they're hilled. Our onions look good. We can see here, this is one of the ones that got chewed off the other day. It's sprouting again now. I saw another one, something like that over here. Haven't had the visitors come here lately, I don't think. So a number of them are chewed off. But they're looking good. Now, for the big moment, let's go look at the carrots. I think it's time for us to take this cardboard off today. All right, let's have a look. Okay, we see the sprouts coming up on them all. They're underway. Good. Let's get this cardboard off now. I don't want to be too rough taking it off because I don't want to disturb the plants. They are still largely on top of the surface, though they're starting to grip on now. One of them white worms, we're going to get rid of that one. Every time I do this, I worry about the seeds sticking to the bottom of the cardboard and having the roots stuck in there. It seems that they are all on the ground, doing well. And we're going to give them an extra watering now. Let's have a quick look here first. So we can see they're all coming up nicely. Most of them stayed in their place. We're here. Look at this, look. They're doing good. I probably could have had the cardboard off a little bit earlier, but I didn't want to be at it during Father's Day. Very nice. Alright, so I could not find any more knitting, but what I'm going to do, I'll get some today at the store. For now, I'm going to put this crazy little scarecrow thing right here and see how this works out. We'll see if that keeps the birds frightened away. I think it's the birds that are doing the damage here. No trouble to see the carrots poking up here, lots of them. They'll get their roots down in the ground there now, and once they start seeing the sunshine, they'll be off to the races. Let's get them watered. Watering early in the morning isn't too bad. We don't want to do this when the sun is hot on them, but right now the sun is still fairly cool. So we'll get them watered down. Including our little scarecrow guy here. And we're going to put some water on the peas here as well. Help them to get started. The onions over there are in full sunlight there now, so they're not going to get any water till this evening. Now, we should have our carrot crop started. That carrot crop anyway. Over here, I'm going to put in some more carrots. I was hoping to do it this morning, but I really don't want to do it without having some netting to go over them now. So I have to go to the city and get a blade for my lawnmower today. And when I come back, I'll have some netting. Let's see about doing a little bit of weeding here. So I see there's quite a few weeds popping up right there. Of course, we have our one little potato plant. Remember back when we were getting our ground ready, this guy was left over from last year. It came into the, I raked it up, and it was sprouting again. It was one that got left over from picking our potatoes last year. So I found a place to put it. Here it is. And it's looks like it's doing all right. Now, let's take a look over in the greenhouse and see how things are doing there. Oh, it is hot in here. All right, let's leave that door open for the day now. Oh, the plants look happy. I can see the difference in the height of the tomatoes right now. Come over, let's have a look, see what we got on the go. Yeah, doing nicely. Very nicely. Now, what do we have here in suckers on the go? There's a sucker right there. We'll pinch that off. Got another one back there. That one there's a little bit hard to get to. Let's see if I can. We'll get next time. Take off that little one there. In between the branch and the main stalk, we get these little tiny offshoots. We refer to them as suckers because they tend to suck the energy from the plant. They take so many nutrients that the plant has to do without. It's important to pinch these off early. Always pinch them so you close off the gap there where they're attached. You don't want to have any more of the inside areas of the plant exposed than necessary. These will grow very aggressively and they will produce tomatoes. But you always have to keep in mind the root system is only so big. So if you have too many things producing tomatoes, you're not going to get any big tomatoes. Or it's much harder anyway to get the big ones. You had to wait longer and so on. So most of us will take off the suckers. Now in the case of a determinate plant, now that's a plant that's only going to grow so big. Usually you'll have those in your house. Those you normally don't take off the suckers. But these are indeterminate. They're going to grow, well, they will be right up across the ceiling before the summer's done. So these, I want the suckers off. Even where the plants split, like right here, I try to allow that to happen just once, because these plants will get very tangly, and over time it's going to be really hard just to reach in through and pick the tomatoes. So it's important to keep them clean. Soon I'll start, see how some of these lower branches here now, they're starting to get diseased. The lower ones I will get rid of as well. I'll do that more as time goes on. And the bottom will eventually be nothing but a stalk. And what I did last year, and it worked real well for me, is as they got too tall, I allowed that stalk to curl. So I lowered the whole system down so that the trellises were lower, and I just let them curl out around and come back up. And this gave me a lot more height that I could work with in my low ceiling greenhouse. Now the other thing I'm going to do, I have a Q-tip here. Some tomatoes will pollinate themselves easier than others. We don't have a lot of bees around anymore to do our pollination for us. And though tomatoes, from what I understand, are self-pollinating, depending on the actual type of tomato plant, some will pollinate easier than others. And like I said, we don't have the insects here to do it. So I like to just go around and share a bit of pollen among all of them. Just rolling the Q-tip as I put it up against the center of the flowers. In past years, I've always had really good pollination rates. Most flowers did produce really well. So I just go around every few days and I pollinate them, and it only takes a few days here in the greenhouse for them to start to produce tomatoes. And then you know your pollination has done its job. I'll set that one back there for next time. How about over on the other side? Let's have a look at the peppers. And the peppers are pretty much self-pollinating, but a little bit of movement always helps. These are all bell pepper plants. So I'm just tapping the inside of them there to get the pollen to spread. We can see these are all forming little peppers now anyway. I've gone through and tapped these several times in the past. They're all producing. Over here. Sorry for the noise from the fans there. Look at the peppers down here. They're forming nicely. Up through here. So the crop is starting to produce. Well, that's it for this morning. I've got to go get that bit of netting, and if there's no flies around, I may see about planting the other carrots. We'll see you in a bit here in the greenhouse. Well, we decided to get back at it again today. We haven't had too many flies on the go, and got these carrots to go in, so we're going to stamp out this ground here and put down another few hundred. I'm going to wash off my stamp here first. Basically something I made for the carrots. I use it for some of the other stuff too, is a bunch of little cones. Each one is screwed on, and that allows me to put little 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch holes in the ground. Perfect size for carrots and that. I'm going to dampen everything down at first. All right, let the stamping begin. Okay, now we start planting seeds. So this is the seeds we're planting today. These are an organic carrot seed, Negovia, and these are pelleted, so they're much easier to handle than the seeds that are not pelleted. They're much larger. Just like before, we're going to drop one in every hole. I'm not going to bore you with it this time. I'm just going to start dropping them in the holes, and we'll see you in a little while when we get this done. 830, 831, 832. 832 carrots. And we got 1,000 over there. 1,832. So that's 832 of the Negovia organic carrots. All right, I'm going to water these down a little bit again now. And then we're going to cover this with cardboard, just like we did over here last week. We'll soak that down then. And hopefully we'll have these all germinated within a week. We'll give these a real nice soaking here now. Get them started off. Making sure we're not washing any of them away with the force of the water. This drop of water will pool now down around the seed and start softening up that clay pellet that they're in. There we go. All right, now that our seeds are all in the ground, covered up with cardboard, we'll keep this nice and wet over the next week. Important that those seeds do not go dry. If they go dry, there's very little chance that they're going to grow. So we'll leave it like that. Leave the hose there so it's convenient for watering every time we pass by. And then we'll check things out in the greenhouse before we finish off our day. And check our reservoirs. That one's looking good. We'll need some in that one tomorrow, probably. And our peppers are low again. Quick look around underneath here. Make sure we got no leaks on the go. Everything looks good. They're just drinking that much. It's amazing how much they're drinking now. So I'm going to get some nutrients for those now in a while. But we're going to say that's it for now. So we'll see you next time here in the greenhouse. I had a new subscriber yesterday that showed some interest in these little baskets that I use here. This is what I do with the runners. Last year they used to come out over the side of the pot, and I couldn't do a lot with them other than try to push them back in the pot. So I decided to make these baskets. So what I did, I basically came up with some nice small baskets that are, or pots that I figured would be a good size for this. And then I 3D printed these. So they print like this here on the printer, very simple design. I made sure that this part here was long enough that once inside, it would go down into the dirt, like so. And that would ensure that it had something to hold it there, the weight of the dirt on the back of it.